What's going on, everyone? It's time yet again for another Hop Butcher Friday. So, as you know, 2 releases came out this week. Mike's got one, I've got the other. This is live from Chicago, and it's an IPA. Now, usually Hop Butcher doesn't do IPAs. I mean, they do, but not as often. Usually it's a double, usually it's a regular pale, or in the case of the other release this week, it's a triple IPA. But this one has Simcoe, Citra, Galaxy, and HBC 692 hops in it. Wonder what HBC 692 means. But if you look at the tasting notes on the back of this can, which, by the way, this canner is killer. This is actually a collaboration beer. This is the fine folks at Hop Butcher joined up with the fine folks at Crushed by Giants. They are in the process of opening up an eatery on Michigan Avenue. And they also are a group of folks who I believe are behind a few other Chicago breweries that we know and love. But I don't want to run the risk of sounding like a dumbass and naming the wrong brewery, so I'm not going to do it. Anyways, the tasting notes on here are fresh fruit cocktail. When have you ever heard Hop Butcher say fruit cocktail? Pleasant pine and sweet grapefruit. So without further ado, let's get to this. Oh wow, yeah, that smells nice and fruity with that tropical right on the top. As you see it coming out of the can, guess what, guys? Looks like we've got a little bit of a West Coast on our hands. This is not a hazy IPA that we have this week from these folks. That looks fantastic. Even though I poured it kind of like an a-hole, the beer is looking pretty damn tasty in here. Yeah, now you get more of that pine on the head. It almost smells like there's pine needles floating on the top of this thing. Wow, this is really good. This is super smooth. This is more a West Coast IPA that doesn't play much with the piney, resinous hops, but really gives you more of that fruity tropical. Now I'm getting some of that grapefruit kind of pine combination on the end there. Yeah, this is a solid beer. This is really nice. Like I said, it really doesn't have a lot of the, usually you expect kind of like a resiny, piney bitterness from a West Coast IPA. This just doesn't have it. I mean, it does in the aftertaste a little bit, but honestly, what you get in the drink more than makes up for what the aftertaste can be. So I can see what the aftertaste of people maybe wouldn't be a huge fan of it. But honestly, the only solution to an aftertaste is just keep drinking the damn beer and you won't have an aftertaste to worry about. So anyways, this is live from Chicago, a collab between Crushed by Giants and Hop Butcher. Let's see if I can do this live from Chicago. Cheers.